is hard to get up,
Yeah.
but the early get worth it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Last week, no, we've done leadership calls together and we've done these calls. So now I'm getting a little confused what I've talked to you last about.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were gone. So you kind of know how to work that customer and recruit follow-up sheet, right? I mean, I know you probably haven't used it because you've been out of town, but
Yes.
okay. Let me know when you use that or if you need any help with it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is about writing goals effectively. I'm just going to touch on that, and then we're going to get to the heart of this with getting referrals, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
People are always, how can I advertise, or what's a perfect expo to go to, or da da da, and I'm like, actually, just take care of the people you have really well now and ask for good referrals, and you don't have to do too much, as much of that. It's another way to do things, but this is kind of fun. And actually, I have to say, I probably sign up more people who are referrals than I do just people I meet, because there's someone that has said it worked besides me. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. So just a couple of movies. I'm trying to put movies on these agendas, things that you can watch as a family. Your kids aren't quite old enough to enjoy these yet, but it'll come. But just the whole idea of putting down a goal and getting a number and realizing, like picturing something. So the American president, it's kind of silly. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's my era. You're younger than I am. But in the American president, there's this lobbyist group, and they're trying to get votes on the House, and they have these numbers up, how many days they have to do it and how many votes they need to get. And they're ripping off numbers as they go, and watching the number get smaller and smaller down to zero. And it's a visual aid. That's the thing. Goals, it's just, they're always more effective if you have a visual aid. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about how to write goals. One of the methods we haven't talked about yet, which is one of my favorite, is how to write goals in effective sentences. And it sounds probably kind of silly, but usually I'll see people just put down a number of something, whether it's a number of pounds or a number of, amount of money saved, or how much you want to do in sales, or just kind of put down a number. And one of the things that's kind of fun and works really well for your subconscious is to write things down in a full sentence. And so let me tell you a little bit about how that works. You want to get really specific about your goals, and you're getting to a point in your place or point in your business, Jordan, where I know that you can really, really narrow down your goals and start figuring out exactly what you want to have happen to get to where you want to be. I think you're getting really good at that already, because you're moving up the ranks in your company already. And so this is kind of fun, because your belief system in what you can do, your belief system in setting goals, your belief system that you can have success is growing. So this is when it gets fun, because you have a foundation, and now you can kind of set some bigger goals with a little more faith that it will happen, versus I don't even dare set it because I don't know if anything happens, but you know that they do. So to get started, what I explain to people is they need to put 3 P's in their sentences. And the 3 P's, the first one is personal, which is really easy. Personal means we just say the word I to start out the sentence. If it's a goal you and your husband are setting, or you and a team member are setting, or you and your kids, or whatever it might be, you want to use the word we, but you just want to make it personal. So we're going to start making these full sentences instead of just this arbitrary number. The next one you want to put in there is you want to make it positive. Now, my best worst example for that is someone who's trying to stop smoking, saying, I will never smoke. If we put the words not, never, don't, won't, can't, any of those words in there, they're negative words, and our subconscious actually doesn't hear them. And the best example, especially where you have 2 little boys, is if you say, don't touch that, don't hit your brother, don't go there, don't play with that, you just instantly, you see their brain just want to do it, right? It's,
Yeah.
and the reason is, okay, if I tell you do not think about a pink elephant. No matter what you do, don't think about a pink elephant. Just don't let that image of a pink elephant pop into your brain. Tell me how easy that is.
Very hard.
Okay, so here's actually also a parenting tip. What you want to make sure you do is say what you want your kids to do, and that's what you want to be saying to yourself too. So be kind to your brother, stay here and be safe. Here's this that you can play with instead. When you tell them what they can do, their brain starts focusing on something else. When you tell them don't do that, it just increases that urge. And it's not because they're rebellious and obnoxious, as like most of us kind of assume they are, especially as toddlers when they just kind of have a mind of their own. But actually, you're just reinforcing what they want because you're talking about what they do want versus talking about the other options they have. So you want to make sure you do that with yourself too. So let's just say, for example, I had the bad habit of not following up timely. Okay. And I says, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. What I want to say is I follow up timely, or I'm never going to be late. No, we want to say I'm on time, I'm early, I'm prompt. Okay. So that's what it means to be in the positive. Most of the time, that's not too hard to do. But every now and then I have someone who's trying to break a bad habit and they say, I won't do this. I won't eat chocolate. I won't sit on the couch and not get a, it's like, no, I eat healthy. I go walking. Okay. So you got to say it in the positive. So then the next one is you say in the present as if it's already happened. Some people love this. Some people have a hard time with it. It's kind of funny the different reactions I get. Meaning, like, what's your next goal with your company? What's like your next level or your next?
Well, on my vision board, I have written out I will be gold on or before the end of July in 2014.
Perfect. Okay, so I want you to make one little tweak on that and say, I am gold, and get that word will out of there. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So we want things in the present tense. This is the fact of the matter. You are working your butt off to get there. You are already gold. You just have to finish doing the work you're in the process of doing.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that because when I looked at my board, it says I am.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, no, it's totally fine. But you get the concept then. That's all that matters. So you get the concept. So whenever you're writing a goal, you just want to make sure you're putting it I am, I'm doing. If it's an ing word, that keeps you safe. It's just if you read that sentence and there's a word will in there, got to get it out.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's perfect. Because I always tell people, if you're looking, there's a little picture in my book. If you're looking at a timeline and God's up here, but we're down here on our timeline, we can't see very far. But He can see down here that by the end of July, you are gold. He knows you're already that. And it's perfectly okay to say that you are those things. So it's a fun mental thing to do for yourself. So now the next little tip I have for you to put in there is to use the words at least. So now I know it's probably a big jump, but in theory, you could say, I am at least gold. I don't know what the next level is or what it would take, but or if you're saying you have so much in sales or so many new people you've signed up or whatever it might be, at least. Put those words in there because I kind of joke that if God wants to bless you with more than what you've asked for, is that okay? Most people say, yeah. It's good to put dates on there. Kind of depends on the goal. The other thing that's really fun is put feeling words in there. So how will you feel being gold, Jordan?
Excited and relieved. I think I'd be motivated to go further.
Cool. Awesome. See, so those are all words you can put in your sentence. Okay. All right. The next one. Okay. So you can write out personal goals, you can write out business goals, you can write them out as family goals, whatever you want to do. You can use this skill of writing out your goals in full sentences and then making sure that you read them daily. And then the other thing is to post them in 5 to 6 places that are key places for you. My favorite is next to a bed, on a mirror, and a fridge. My ultimate favorite, because I live in the car, is next to the speedometer in my car. So any place that you want to put them that works for you. The other place I like to put things is where I might get distracted. So putting them, for example, if you're someone who happens to watch TV, mine would be more the computer and Facebook. I don't watch a whole lot of TV. There's lots of different places that you can put things. Okay. All right. So let's get down to referrals. So people are always hoping that advertising or posting even on social media or these different things will get us sales. I will say you do very effective social media. I like how you have a very nice way of sharing information versus sounding silly and like, look, this worked for me, and so you should want it too. Okay, that's how sometimes some people come off. But you have a great way of delicately educating people, so it's kind of fun. But as you know, you probably found interest there. People won't buy from there. It's just a great way to find new contacts. But this other way, referrals, is a lot of fun. So, but one of the things that most people will say is, who do you know that could use these oils? Okay, that's kind of the typical thing to say, but it takes a little more than that. If I just like kind of hit you and said, who do you know who does booths and would want to come take my booth class? It's like it kind of takes you off guard, right? You're like, I probably know somebody, but it's not hitting my brain right now. Do you know what I mean? Like if I hit you with that question and you're probably sitting there going, I probably know somebody, but I can't think of it right now. And that's what people misunderstand. When they ask for referrals and they don't get them, sometimes they're making this assumption that, they must not want to give me a referral. That's not actually it. People are really, really busy. People have a lot on their mind, and people just don't respond to questions quite that quick. So they need some time and some added little sparks to help them think of people. I'm going to give you some really fun ways to do that. Okay, so based on that, you want to do some prompting. So let me give you kind of a few different ideas. So you're going to help me with this. When you think about the oils, tell me 3 to 5 different scenarios of different either age groups, people in certain life situations, people with certain health conditions. Who are a couple of your main groups of people that you're actively serving right now with this product?
Age groups? Well, it's really everybody. I have like babies and toddlers and kids in school. I have teenagers and moms and even my grandparents.
Okay. So tell me why the toddlers and babies use it.
We use them for diaper rashes, anything like that, or just calming them down for tummy aches. Having them, using the citrus bliss for helping them with tantrums, just those kind of things. Really anything you can think of.
Cool. Okay, so there would be your first question. So let's say you're in a group of people, they're all excited about the product, and you want to branch out and see who else they know. Especially because you're only going to have a small percentage that want to book a class, but they might know someone who wants to see you can do a one-on-one with, which is great too, right? So what you can do is just ask, that's your first question. Who do you know that has infants or toddlers that they would love to see if there's something that would kind of help calm their mood, that has had some issues with diaper rash and doesn't like the products on the counter, over the counter, that, I forgot what else you just said, but those kind of, so you just ask, who do you know who has the situation? Okay, so tell me why teenagers are using it.
I have my sisters who are using them for like their menstrual cycle cramps and emotional swings, all those kind of things. And they also use them for their headaches and to wake them up in school and tummy issues, those kind of things.
Cool. So you can ask the same thing. Who do you know who has teenagers? Who do you know who has teenagers that are just hitting puberty and, you know, that girl thing, and you hear them all talk about their mood swings, and who do you know, okay, has those kind of situations? So tell me, what's one or two situations where someone who's more retirement age would use the oils?
My grandpa used them for aches and pains and arthritis and tummy issues as well.
Okay.
Breathing or like snoring at night.
That's what it
He
means.
uses them for everything.
Okay, cool. So, and you know, you want to narrow it down just a little bit so you're not talking forever. But
Yeah.
you come up with these different, you want to find ways to spark their curiosity, you know, spark their creative juice, their brainstorming juices. That's what I'm looking for. To spark their juices flowing in their brain and be able to say, who do you know that has a situation? You don't want it so narrow and specific. You know, who do you just know that has fibromyalgia versus who do you know who has maybe, you know what I mean, aches and pains, whether it's a health issue or they work out or, you know what I mean? You want to get them thinking and not be too narrow, but narrow enough that it sparks those juices. Okay. So it's really cool to see what happens. So like if I asked you, instead of who do you know who needs a booth, if I asked you, hey, who of your friends are doing direct sales? It might be doTERRA, it might be Pampered Chef, it might be Mary Kay. Who do you know? Did a couple people now pop into your head?
Lots, yes.
Okay, so see how different that is?
Mhm.
Okay, so now if I asked you, hey, would you invite a couple of friends? And these are some of the people you might want to invite to this class on booths. Like if you chose to do that, you now have some names in your head, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's the difference. We want to help people think of different types of people that they know in different situations of their life. Okay, so that's how this referral game works. So there's several different places you can do this in. Okay, you can ask for referrals when you're in a situation where if you're in a class, for example, okay, I'd hand out a piece of paper that maybe has 1 through 5, name, phone number, email. Ask people those questions. Who do you know? Children, toddlers. Who do you know? Teenagers. You know, who do you know? People who are retirement age that have this, this, and this. Who do you know that? And it kind of depends on the group. You know, if you have a whole group of young moms sitting there, who do you know that's pregnant? Who do you know? You know, focus on people you know they're going to know. And say, and you could offer a prize. Everybody was excited about the On Guard or a citrus one, or you know, whatever it might be. If you give me at least 3 to 5 different names and commit to giving them a quick phone call and say, hey, my friend Jordan's going to call you. Something that you might like. If you don't want to buy it, it's fine, but she just wants to share some information with you. Your name will go into his hat and we'll give away an oil tonight. Okay. Out of 10 people, you'll have 3 or 4 that will do it, but they'll put down several names. You will have just doubled to triple the number of contacts you got from one evening.
Okay.
You see how that works?
Yeah. Okay. I'm writing that down.
Now, you can also do this when you do one-on-ones, especially because those are so intimate, and you probably have really great success rate with selling something because, you know, you've got everything right into their hands based on what they need. That's a great place to ask, okay? There's all different ways that you can do this. even when you're meeting people, if for some reason it's not the right fit, or I don't know, there's lots of different times when you can ask people, who do you know? You know, let's say you wanted to get out of the area. You wanted to sell more in different parts of the country. And who do you know who doesn't live here, that lives, you know, somewhere other than Tri-Cities, but lives in Washington? Or who do you know who lives, you know, in the bordering states that has this in this situation? There's lots of different ways you can use it depending on what your goals are.
Yeah.
Okay. The other way that you can use this, when you have someone saying, I have no idea who to invite, you can use these same kind of questions for both hostesses, new recruits. Do you see how those kind of questions also help to spark those kind of conversations?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, they'll just kind of freeze and claim they don't know who to call. Okay. So, tell me, what do you have coming up this week where you could take the opportunity to ask for referrals?
I have a class tonight.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Would be good. And then I could probably be using these questions with my team member calls that I have coming up the next couple of days, and helping them finding their builders and helping, you know, the people that are hosting classes this week get more people to their class. Like a bigger list of people who they think of would like to come and who are dealing with these issues.
Cool. Very good. So if you want to put down a list of questions and email them to me, I'd be happy to go over them for you if you want. You might be totally fine. Whatever you want to do is up to you.
Okay.
And then I would make up a little form, okay, that's separate. I don't know if you have an information sheet. Make up a little form that just puts 1 through 5, name, phone number, email. You don't need address or any of that kind of stuff. And just have them put their name and phone number at the top so you can call them if you have a question about who these people are. When they hand them in, or when you're sitting down to take their orders, it can't even hurt to kind of go through the list with them. So tell me about this person, you know, what do you know about this person? If you know something about them, that helps.
Yeah, I actually in our class folders, I have this sheet that's called the wellness wish list that they offer, and then it has where has all of our products and everything, and you can check off like the ones that you're liking. But then it also has a section where you can put notes for the class, as well as put like a referral section where it says the name of the person you're thinking of, the health concern that we talked about, and what the solution was. So that might be good at the end of the classes to talk to them and see, you know, who they wrote down, or if there's anybody that they are thinking of for those certain things.
Cool. Excellent. Sounds good. And like I said, it's up to you. If you want to offer a gift, I'm all for giving an incentive for people to help me have names. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And so what would you suggest, like, if they give me like 3 people that, you know, I give them like a certain free oil or something?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would do it as a drawing. I wouldn't give every single person an oil. I would do it as a drawing.
And that's every referral gets in there, or everybody who gave me referrals goes in there?
Everyone, like the little slip will have 3 to 5 names. So it'll be one piece of paper. You throw it in, and then you draw one out. And you know, if you have 3 to 5 on there, then they, you know, get the prize.
Okay.
And every now and then you'll have someone say, oh, I don't have their contact info with me. And say, that's fine, give me the paper, I'll give you a call tomorrow and get their names and their numbers from you.
Okay.
So you can totally do that. The other thing then, so when you go back to the phone calling, have you used the phone calling system regularly yet? Okay.
I've tried more of like messaging and everything. The phone calling has pretty much just been with my builders. It's just really hard for me to just break through and call people, just because I don't know. I feel like when I do, it's you normally don't get an answer. People are all about just messaging.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, you're going to have to call these referrals. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to have to use, I would highly suggest using the phone calling system because it gives you, it's like when this is a cold call, it's kind of like, okay, how am I going to break this ice? How am I going to get this conversation started? Okay. Um, so the phone calling system is perfect for this because you go, hey, this is Jordan calling, and they're gonna go, Jordan, but you sound really nice, and so they go and go, yeah, hi, Jordan, and they're going, you know, hey, I understand that you're a friend of Becky's, and I think she called and told you that I have some alternative products that people like for their health. Oh, yeah. Jordan, okay. Say, hey, you have just a quick minute. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm calling because Becky thought you might be interested in some of this and was wondering if I can ask you a couple quick questions. Okay? Follow that system. I'm telling you, it breaks down the walls. If you just call and say, hi, I'm Jordan with doTERRA, and Kathy told me to give you a call, and so I wanted to call and see how you're doing, and I understand you said a new baby, and you got to let them talk, and you don't say the name of the company. You bring down those walls, and then you won't come off salesman-y, and you'll have a higher closing rate. And even if you want to role play that and practice that with me, I'd be happy to do that with you. Okay? But use that system for referrals. Now, in regards to texting, one of the things that I'll do if they're not picking up, because we all screen calls, especially if they're in your age group, I'll text them and go, hey, this is Jordan. Or hi, the person at the referral. Hi, Susie. This is Jordan, and Becky referred me to, or, told me to give you a call. I just been trying to reach you. So then when your number pops up, they know who it is and they'll answer it. I try calling 3 times. They don't answer. Then I text them, see if they respond. Usually, I would say about 75% of the time they'll respond. Don't bother leaving phone messages until you've tried calling them at least 3 different times. It's a waste of your time. Most people don't call back.
Okay.
Okay? So you've tried 3 times, 3 different times of the day. Don't bother leaving messages. But texting them is a great way to kind of get them to, oh, this is someone I want to talk to. Okay, I'll pick up the phone next time they call. Or they'll tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I've been missing you. Hey, ask them, when would be a good time for us to chat? Does that help?
Yep, that sounds good. Just trying to write it down.
Okay, so I would just encourage you this week to take those opportunities that you have to ask for referrals, see how it's going, pull your phone calling system out and use it with people. But you may even want to kind of put these questions, if you're going to do mostly texting, maybe put these questions in like your notes. So you use copy and paste. And have a quick way to ask people, hey, who do you know has this? If you're trying to host a coach via text. I know depending on their age, that's just how some people communicate. It's not the most effective way to do sales, but it is the way certain people communicate. So you do kind of have to humor people.
Yeah.
So, but people that are more like my age will talk to you on the phone. So don't hesitate to realize that your generation's a little bit different than 10, 12 years older than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
as you're branching out and meeting new people, just realize one person you're going to email, one person you're going to call, one person you're going to text. And it's okay. You don't have to. The more you can be flexible with different people's way of communicating, the better retention you'll have and the better overall success you'll have. It's easier said than done, especially when you have this whole new group and you're trying to mass train people. But the more ways you touch them, the better. And plus, because you can read a text and email on your own time, there's a time and place to get on the phone and actually hear them.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks.
You bet. So is there anything at all I can do for you? Any questions you have?
I don't think so. Not right now.
Okay. Awesome. You're amazing, Jordan. You're really doing great things. You have no idea where you're headed. You're really amazing. So just keep doing it. 2 little kids. Yeah, no, you're doing amazing. So it's like you know a lot and you're applying a lot. You have a lot more to learn, but you're not scared to learn, and you work hard at learning, and you'll get good at it fast. You really will. Okay? So just keep doing your thing.
Good.
You're pretty inspiring.
Thank you.
Seems really lucky.
I'm excited. And I'm very thankful that I got on this because I've been learning some good new things. I just need to get in the rhythm of practicing it. And
I know.
having the time to really go over them.
But pick the ones you want to do. Everything's recorded. You can go back and watch it later when you go, oh, okay, there's that thing I learned and I got to apply it. How did she say that? You know, either call me or go find the video on YouTube. They're all there, okay? So it's okay. You can't apply everything at once, but it's there for you to review, okay? I finally got to figure out how to go on and make them all private. So just those of you that were on the calls, you access to them. I know there's a way to do it, and it's just technology, and I hate busy work. But I got to get it done.
Okay.
So, okay.
Good. And then do you want to call me on the dates?
Oh, yeah. Are you looking at your calendar?
Yes.
So which would you prefer? Like, do you want to try to do it in an evening, like when your hubby's home? Or do you want to try to do it during a nap time? Like, what do you think would be best for your team?
Maybe let's try like a lunchtime.
Okay.
And then that way people who have kids maybe during the nap time can get on, or maybe if they're working they could get on at lunch. Okay. Or maybe try an evening too and see which one that they'd like better.
So let's propose a noon time, and let's propose an evening time.
Yes.
And see what feedback we get from your team.
Okay.
I could do this Friday. Do you want to do noon or 1? What time did you say your boys are usually down?
Usually around 11:30, 12:30-ish. So we could do noon.
Noon? Okay.
I think most people would be on lunch around then, or maybe, yeah.
You think Friday works? Does that work? Okay. So Friday at noon, or let's see here. I feel like I have something Thursday evening here. I think I could do Thursday evening.
Okay.
Oh wait, let's see. We have a soccer game. Let me think what time I do that. I could do it at 6. I have a soccer game at 7.
Oh, okay.
Or I could do it like after 8, but that's gonna be really late for you East Coast gal.
Oh yeah, that would be really late.
Because 6 o'clock is 9 o'clock her time.
Yeah.
What time does your hubby get home?
5:30.
So you're doing dinner. Is that gonna make him grumpy?
Yeah.
Even if he's like, lunch, I'm like, look, dinner's in crock pot, everything's set. I just need this 1 hour. Or she probably has classes at night too, huh?
Yeah, no, that would be good. Let's do that. We can do Thursday.
Thursday at 6.
Okay.
And then we can hope that the vote's for noon.
Okay.
To keep You know what I mean? We can go,
Yeah.
hey, and say, is there any way you can do noon, or would evening really be better? You know, put that one first in your
And
email.
then do you mind maybe texting me like a little like
Description.
sample of what I should send them to kind of give like a description of what?
Yeah. You can even go to post events on my Facebook page. But yeah, I'll send you, I basically call it finding new customers in your everyday life. You know,
Okay.
finding ways to just make that part of your life. And it's a habit you have to make. Do you know what I mean? People
Yeah.
think, they worry about it, and but what am I going to say? And, you know, and I'm going to give them exactly what to say when they're out and about. And you're just going to make new friends, and then some of them will be friends and some of them will be customers, and it's okay. They're not all customers. So,
Okay. And then it will be on Zoom.
yep.
And so you'll need their email to send it to them.
hmm Or I can send you the link and you can send it out, whichever.
Okay.
But you can send me.
Okay. I will message them this morning about that
Awesome.
right now. Thank you. That'll be good.
You
I
bet.
think that'll be helpful.
Yeah, it'll be fun because it introduces them to asking good questions, which is a major key to sales. I came up with this new theory the other day that I'm